Boring life or purpose-driven life? 3 simple goal-setting tools. Do you keep asking yourself, where am I in this life I'm living? I don't feel like I'm even participating in my own life. Every day feels like a routine. Today feels like yesterday. Same thing over and over. Routine, boring. I don't even want to think about goal setting. Do you want to start living a purpose-driven life? Some women ask themselves, where is the real true me and the spark I used to have? I'm clearly just going through the motions of life, doing very well, having a great job, family, and I'm very successful at what I do, but it's so boring. It's hard to admit that a successful, busy woman like you is feeling bored, but sometimes it's the truth. There's hope, my friend. Do you want to live a purpose-driven life that feels nothing like routine and totally like the real you? Stay with me here because these goal-setting tools that I'm about to share with you does magic for you and how you view your life. The one thing that makes life go on routine is feeling like you're having a million demands on you. Sometimes the days become so boring, same things over and over. Maybe it's because of work, forcing you to feel like you always have to fit the mold, please others, perform your best, and be proactive and stay on top of everything. Every day, year round. Maybe it's your home life where you think you need to think ahead to keep everything together and make sure to everyone have what they need. Every day, year round. On top of that, you maybe rarely see your friends in person anymore, like you used to, and miss the days when spontaneity was a norm, not the rare occasion. This is a very common inner feeling for busy working women, and it's a disease of the worst kind. When life is going on autopilot, we don't appreciate what we have. We just see the hurdle and we're stuck. I used to feel exactly this way, and my life really was put on autopilot, enabled by the planning and the scheduling that had to happen to make things work from day to day between work and family needs. Every day looked the same, day after day. I really didn't know what to do more than to continue the next day in the same fashion as the day before. Autopilot was my comfort zone, and it worked for a while. I was so resistant to look at what was really going on. Resistance is understandable when we're getting out of our comfort zone. What is the comfort zone that you're living in? The antidote to resistance is curiosity and having fun. Think about a time in the past when you really had fun. What was it about that situation that made it so much fun? What was it about you that made you feel so happy? I love a quote from one of the early issues of Joanna Gaines's Magnolia magazine, where she reflects on being curious and playful with her kids. And she says, once I'm in it, I'm reminded that I'm more than I thought I was. This is exactly what I mean with stepping out of what's boring and in your own life and experience something new through curiosity and playfulness. Routine has no home when curiosity is at play. With a little bit of curiosity and willingness, you can look at the opportunity in your life that you have in front of you right now. You can start the journey of self-discovery that could lead you to your ideal dream day if you want to do the work it takes to embrace the feeling of being fully present, purposeful, and alive. Making a major shift to a purpose-driven life starts with deciding to stepping out of the boredom and into the magic. Here are 3 essential goal-setting tools that you can start exploring today. This will get you curious, and if you apply them, they may create magic for you too. Now to the question, where to start? So bring out a piece of paper and a pen first. The first tool, the ideal dream day visualization in meditation. Put on your favorite calming and inspiring song. Close your eyes and take a slow, full, deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. Now visualize your ideal dream day, big picture view of your situation and a life that you want to create for yourself. See yourself having fun. How do you feel? See your face smiling and be brave and take a look at what this image tell you. Then bring in visually in your mind a picture of yourself in this ideal situation and environment. How does it look? How does it smell? How does it sound? And how does it feel? Then add in others that are close to you into this context of the whole. This never fails to inspire and give you the perspective. Now ask yourself, what is your ideal dream day that really excites you? Skip the circumstances, the limitations for a moment, and go for it. Don't stop until you have a smile on your face and that bubbly feeling in your body. Sit with this vision for at least 5 minutes. And now open your eyes and take another 5 minutes to write it down. And don't stop to edit anything. Keep the music going until you're finished. Tool number 2, honesty reality check, just the way it is. This tool, now get down to be brutally honest. Prepare yourself by once again closing your eyes, no music this time, and take a slow, full, deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Ask yourself, how satisfied are you currently with your current reality? Then write down how you truly feel about it for 5 minutes and don't stop to edit. Write it all down just the way it is. No rosy glasses on, just raw truth. Tool number 3, the opportunity of closing the gap. Now witness the gap between your ideal dream day vision and the reality check you just made. What does this gap represent for you? Describe some of your feelings coming up right now. Identify the opportunity here. What is the shift that's needed here? How can you shift from seeing it with your heart instead of your brain? And if it was the first time ever you felt this way, write it down. So take now a few minutes to write everything down, your never before inner thoughts. Sit with it. Soak it in. How willing are you to close this gap and do something about it? What does your gut tell you truly? If you feel the fire inside, that it's time, now or never, you are in the right spot. You're reading this for a reason. You're listening to this for a reason, and things are going to start happen for you. Now it's decision time. What is that one little thing that you can commit to put in action this week towards your new ideal dream day vision? Don't try to analyze what comes up. Grab whatever comes to mind first and go for it. Write it down again in bold, and you will have clarity and more fun. Most importantly, start and the pressure will be off, and you're all in. Boredom is no longer. If you want more support to start the process, go download my free 7-step guide to feeling like you have every day off. Or if you want more personal support to make this change through my private coaching program, send me an email or send me a response right from where you are. I'm at eurekasullivan.com. Check me out there. What are you so ready to change? What do you wish was available to you in order to get started? Good luck. Hello, Denyne. How are you?
I'm doing very well today, and you, Eureka? What a gorgeous day it is out there, isn't it?
Yes. I'm so excited to have you here today and to talk about our very important topic. And I'm just going to repeat what the topic is before we start. And it's boring life or purpose-driven life. 3 simple goal-setting tools. And yeah, I think a lot of listeners and viewers may relate very much to this because life can get really routine and boring. We're here today to kind of shine some light on what we can do differently. So thank you for being part of this conversation, Denyne.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad to be part of it. I'm honored. Thank you for having me.
So, Denyne, in what way do you feel that this topic is really relevant for how we're living our lives today?
Well, I was drawn to the topic because I feel that we're all so busy. We're just busy, busy, busy. And I think in the process of being busy, we tend to go on autopilot way too often. And we tend to forget the things that are important to us in the process of being busy and just living our lives, whether it be work or personal or whatever it may be. And I think we tend to forget the things that are important. And we tend to go on autopilot. And then when we do that, life does get boring. You all of a sudden you wake up and you're like, whoa, wait a minute, what am I doing? And this isn't what I intended. This isn't what I wanted for myself. So I think it's very relevant in today's world.
Yeah. And it's easy to just go on and on week after week and feeling that boredom and routine and not knowing what to do about it.
Absolutely.
So from your perspective, what's the key difference between routine and boring kind of feeling, living on autopilot, and a purpose-driven life?
Well, they're 2 very different things, but I think that they can coincide with each other. I think they can live happily with each other in both of our lives. I don't think we need to we can still have a routine. I think that's what a lot of us do to keep us sane and to keep us moving forward, that we know that we have this thing that we do every day, whatever it may be. But I don't think that necessarily has to be all of who we are. I believe that the purpose-driven life is much more making choices of how we're going to spend our free time. For example, and I'm an entrepreneur and I have my own business, and it's very easy for me to, in free time, to say, oh, I could just go do this for work. I could just go do something work related. But that's easy. It's easy because it's something I know, but it's actually harder sometimes to make that choice to go do something that's more fun or more that's going to bring me joy, versus just doing the thing that I could automatically do in my sleep, so to speak. Yeah, I think that's my 2 cents, as they say.
Yes. That's such an insight because, I feel the same. It's very easy to gravitate to what's easy, what comes easy. And then is not always something that's giving us that little extra spark. So, yeah. And important viewpoint as well, that they actually can coexist, because life may not be always like fun and games at all times, but it's easy to kind of forget about the fun and games and how we play in life
and that's so important. Play is so important, because I think we get so wrapped up in our routine and our life, and it just becomes it becomes mundane. It just becomes, it's another day. I'm doing the same thing today after day. And I think we forget that we do have a choice, whether it be something small like just driving a different way to work, or doing something, one little thing differently, just making that shift. Every day we have a choice as to what we do. And so I think they can coexist. I think they have to, but I think it's all about choices.
So important.
Mm.
The topic is really speaking to how important it is to tap into the heart space and intuition rather than the logical mind when creating a new vision for ourselves. So even that little different thing that we want to do today that we may not have done in a long time, or just coming up with something new. Give me an example of when this has been really useful for you.
Sure. Well, I'm a very logical person, but my work is very creative. So for me, a lot of times, logic will take over when necessary. But I find when when I stop listening to the brain and I listen to the right side of the brain, the creative side of the brain, when I listen to that and I also tap into what my heart is truly feeling, that intuition, right? I think that's when I have the best results, whether it be for work or for decisions I make in my own life. Because it's very easy, I think, if we rely on logic, we're relying back on the part of us that it's the knowing. I know I can do this. I know I can do that. This is the logical side of the brain, where the heart side of the brain, it's feeling and it's intuition. And I feel that if we're tapping into that to making our decisions, we're definitely coming from a much more authentic space of what our soul and our being desires versus the mind.
Yeah. Do you have can you share an example when you actually did made a difference for you to tap into that heart space and that intuition?
Well, in work that I've done, in personal development and growth work that I've done in the past, there's been a lot of times where, making a plan for the future of things that I want to do differently, or things, how I'd want to bring certain things into my life. So, for example, if I wanted to, say I wanted to launch a workshop for my class, for my business, the logical side of my mind would tell me to follow a certain path and to do the certain steps to get what I need for me to get from point A to point B. But the heart-centered part of my mind thinks about not only how I want the experience to feel, but also how I want the end user to feel. So that's very different from thinking about the logical steps to get from point A to point B versus what the end user might like, or how I truly want the experience to be and how I want the experience to feel. And I've done this several times in classes that I've taught, and I feel that the end result has been better when I've listened to my intuition on some of the parts and pieces where logic might have said, oh, well, you should have done it this way, but no, I did it a total different way and it came out much better.
What a great way to approach it. And anyone that's listening or viewing this, what can you do today to tap into your intuition by simply tapping into how you want to feel about a certain thing? And that can be really profound and can lead you down the steps to something completely different. Yeah.
Absolutely. It is definitely about I think it's about the feeling. It's tapping into that feeling and that intuition that makes a big difference.
How has curiosity and having fun played a part in your own journey towards fulfilling your goals?
Wow. Well, one of my core values is fun and adventure, and that's not always easy for me because I do tend to think logically a lot of times about things and what, can I really do all this crazy fun stuff that my heart's telling me it would like to do. Um, so I think, well, reiterate the question again, because I just totally lost my train of thought.
No worries. So think about a time when you really tapped into this playing and fun part of your life, and how that has actually helped you fulfill goals that you
Okay, thank you.
No
Thank you.
worries.
So interestingly enough, and I know this may sound strange, but I had to set a date night for myself once a week to do something with myself, by myself, that was fun. I'm a mother of 2 boys. I run my own business. I'm married. And I found that if I was just going along with my routine, that I wasn't doing things for me. I had all these grand visions of things that I wanted to do, classes I wanted to take, fun stuff, but it didn't happen because I didn't make the time. Now, this sounds like a very logical thing to do, but carving out that time every week, same time every week, whether it be 2 or 3 hours, and then making sure that by the beginning of the week, I had the plan of what I was going to do, not just leave it sometimes to chance. If something came up, then I'd say, all right, well, it was meant to be. It came into my life. But more than not, if I didn't have something already planned or scheduled that I knew I was, even if it was just going to Barnes and Noble and reading a book, just having that plan, that made such a difference in taking the time for me that I needed to take. So I think that's kind of the fun thing. And then it kind of gets addictive when you start to do that. You're like, oh, well, if I made time for this, I could. So I think it's just making that time, being a little logical, but, having the fun as the big outcome and goal.
Yes, what a wonderful way to be intentional and mindful about, bringing in yourself to your week, and what you really, can bring in that fun and play into a work week that's very demanding.
Yes, absolutely.
So what would you recommend to someone who maybe is viewing or listening to this, who feel like their life is really routine, boring, and on autopilot?
Well, my recommendation would be to take baby steps. You can't go from 0 to 100 in a day. You have to have small steps that you take every day to get yourself to that goal. Do one thing differently, just every day, to break that routine, whatever it may be, and continue it. Taking time. One of the big things that I do is I have a morning routine that I have set up, and that is sacred. I don't care who or what's going on. That is my start to the day, and I feel that having that particular routine that starts my day, yoga, meditation, actually feeding myself, wow, food is amazing. But, having that start, that you're starting your day in a specific way, really sets the tone. So I would say having, a routine that actually seems fun to you and feeds your soul, I believe that's important. That really helped me. And then bringing those little baby steps in every day or once a week, just make a shift. You just have to start somewhere.
Such great advice, Denyne. So what is one thing that you live by?
Wow. Well, I live by, at this stage of the game of my life, you know how they say when you're on a plane to put the oxygen mask on yourself first? Well, I think I have to do that, because if I don't, a lot of other things suffer. So that oxygen mask means putting things that are important into my life to keep me healthy, happy, sane, whole. And in years past, I did not do that. I was very much of a people pleaser and a good girl, and everybody else came first. But I think as I get older and into the wise woman years, I find that when you as a woman, a mother, a wife, whatever it may be, put that oxygen mask on yourself first and take care of you, then everyone else benefits and everyone else feels better in you as well.
So much wisdom right there. Thank you, Denyne. So where can we connect and learn more about you?
Well, I am the owner of Denyne Designs. We're a full-service interior design company. I'm also a feng shui master, so I use a little bit of all that in my toolbox. I do have a website. It's www.denyne, that's DENYNE, designs, plural.com. We have a blog on there. We talk about all kinds of great stuff, whether it be home-related, feng shui-related, energy-related. I do offer classes occasionally, but if someone wants to connect with me, the website's a good place to learn more, and then my contact information is on there.
Wonderful. It was so great to have you with me in this conversation today. So thank you so much, Denyne, for your wisdom.